So hey guys, this is Alan with Keepical Group Facilitation Software. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how I got into the Mastermind group facilitation business in the first place. So I'm kind of old. It goes all the way back to the late 80s. At that time I started a design and construction company. And into the mid-90s I was doing okay financially, but I was actually working a lot of hard hours, and it was very stressful. And during that time, reading the trade publications and going to some of the trade shows and all, I'd heard about a company that ran like consulting and assistance for people like me. And so I contacted them, and they had one of actually the owner of the company flew in and looked my organization over and did an evaluation and gave me feedback about how I could make improvements to operation. But then at the same time, she also recommended that I join one of their groups. They still operate, they're a vibrant organization they run today. But at the time, they ran a bunch of these groups that I didn't know they were called mastermind groups at the time, but that's what they are. And so I joined one of their groups and stayed in that for several years. And that resulted in me substantially reducing my stress and substantially increasing my income and reducing my hours. I got to travel a lot and that kind of thing. And I really benefited a lot from belonging to the group. And of course, I learned as a participant what it was all about, how it works, a well-run group. And so eventually, I sort of grew tired of the industry. I worked for 20 years in the business and decided I wanted to exit. So I had a successful exit. I sold the business and got out right before the 2008 downturn. Now remember, I was in the construction business, so I got out right before the downturn, which was a pretty nice stroke of luck or genius, whatever you want to call it. And I moved on. I got involved in another business that was sort of focused on something completely different. And then later, a few years ago, I got the itch to get back involved in community and kind of give back. I went out and looked around, and we're a population here of about 500,000 people. Actually, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where the space race is and all that kind of stuff. And I was surprised to find that there just wasn't much in the way of organized mastermind groups here helping entrepreneurs in our local market. So I got myself involved in mentoring some other people in business that maybe they were at that stage I had been in 20 or 30 years earlier. I got a lot of gratification, enjoyment out of that, and I found that the groups were a great way to scale that effort. And so I got myself involved in and talked to some nonprofits who were focused on that kind of thing. And so through all that, together we founded a department or a group or organization within that nonprofit that founded and ran mastermind groups. Now, even though it's a nonprofit, we still got people to pay. Even whether you're for-profit or nonprofit, your members should pay. That's a story for a different meeting, different presentation. And so we really dedicated ourselves to trying to help the entrepreneur community. We have kind of spilled over into other areas, but mainly that's where we focus. Over time, the program has grown and evolved over time. Today, the format. And through all that, I did go out and get a bunch of training. I went out, I went online, traveled out of town, got training. So I didn't just throw something together. But now today the form it takes is that this organization holds a public taster once a month where we just invite the general community in to come and get a feel for what these meetings are like. And then from there we have members go on and join our dedicated groups. These are groups, as you might imagine, they're like the best practices for a typical mastermind group. We're in the throes of that. That still goes on. Just in the short of it, to let you know, I got into it mainly because I got a lot out of it myself and wanted to kind of spread the love. I believe in karma, that kind of thing. As far as the next chapter, you probably know because you follow me that we do this thing called Keepical group facilitation software. I came up with that because I found that there wasn't a good software package. Really running a good group is hard work and time consuming, and having a good software package to help with that, I find is very helpful. And so that's kind of my main thing I'm working on now. Anyhow, I hope you got something out of hearing my story about what got me into this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to get in touch. I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this clip. You can reach me by contacting me through keepical.com. Thank you.